Welcome to Dreams Inspire Reality Podcast with Tara Darnley, a podcast for creatives looking to turn their dreams into reality with practical strategic steps from everyday people and entrepreneurs who are living their best lives possible. Dreams inspire reality. Turn your dreams into reality. Dreams inspire reality.
Hello guys, I'm so excited about today's episode. We have Freddie Taylor, who is a serial entrepreneur and founder and owner of the Urban Intellectuals, Inc., an international business dedicated to shining a light on the hidden pages of history, Black history that is. His company has sold over 150,000 decks around the world of their Black History Flashcards. They believe everyone deserves to be proud of their ancestors. This goes for the Black community as well. How are you, Freddie? Welcome.
I'm excellent. Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you on, and we're going to dive right into it. The first question I normally ask my guests is, are you living your dream life?
Am I living my dream life?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Yes, it's been a long journey, so I worked hard to get here, and I'm really enjoying the fruits of my labor thus far. So I would say yeah.
That's good. That's good. And one of the reasons I wanted to have Freddie on, because Freddie is one of those like silent people who's out here killing it, but you could tell why he's killing it, right? And one of the common trends that I'm seeing with successful people that I'm around is they're always asking questions, but most importantly, they're executing. And so I always tell my listeners or anyone that I come around is, are you executing? And are you actually asking the questions that needed to be asked? So Freddie, being that you have multiple businesses, you've invested in multiple ideas, can you share with us, like, how are you able to pick the winning ideas to actually move forward with and start executing? Because I know we all have tons of ideas, but how do you go through the process of saying, you know what, this is a winner and I'm going to push through with this one?
Hey guys, this episode is sponsored by Naturalicious, who is the world's first time-saving natural hair care line for busy women that delivers the results of 12 products in only 3 steps. A 3-step, all-natural, highly effective hair care system that delivers, moisturizes, detangles, and defines curls in a fraction of the time. Available at 1,200 Sally stores nationwide and sold online at SaveTime on washday.com.
That's an interesting question. I guess it really kind of starts with experience. I'm really familiar with my market at this point. It's been a long road. I really kind of know what they want, but I think it also has to do with understanding, I guess, the experience in the marketplace and understanding in business and markets in general. So I do a lot of reading, a lot of self-study. So like when I'm making decisions, all of that comes with me. So every book that I've read, every insight that I've gathered, that kind of comes with me. And, you know, the things that you think that are hit, they kind of jump out at you. So, and then also, I guess this is a big part, you know, I won't just dump 100% of our resources into something. I'll kind of slow roll it in a beta phase, if you will. After a while, you know, the winners are kind of, the cream will rise to the top. So the market will kind of tell you what they're interested in. So you listen to the market, not try to know everything. And then, you know, when the market starts to show some sign of liking your offering, you got to kind of pour the gasoline on it and go for it.
I love that. And I clearly actually remember when you came up with the idea for the cards. I remember you asking around and just to see how just asking and then actually implementing and just, like you said, pouring the gasoline on it and it being what it is today. Can you walk us through that? Like, where did the idea came from? Because you had the platform already, you had the audience, but just walk us back to even growing that audience. Like, how was that process? Because a lot of people, we have the product, but not the audience, but you had it the other way around. So just walk us through that step as well, how you got the audience going.
Well, I guess it's kind of interesting because due to my questions, and I'm a social agitator by nature. So when I moved into the space of talking to the Black community and wanting to educate the Black community, it really started with engaging the Black community and making people think. So that, if you know me personally, like one of my things is I just like to make people think. I like to ask a lot of weird questions. And so this is kind of like the genesis of how Urban Intellectuals started. I was on Facebook, started a page, and I started to ask intriguing questions to make the Black community think about, why are you voting for these people? Why are you doing this? Why do you do that? Why do you believe in this? So it kind of started as poking and prodding people. And then, once you're in social media and you get the engagement and the interaction amongst inside of the comments, then things are able to go viral a lot faster. And this was a few years back. So Facebook being as stingy with the organic growth. So that's kind of how we, are inciting the crowd. I guess it was my special sauce for growing and building the following. But that whole time I had been in internet marketing circles, and this was in the days of AdSense. So if you familiar with AdSense, you blogging and you put little advertisements through Google on your site and you're making good money. Like we were making tens of thousands of dollars a month, with AdSense. I thought we were doing something, it was like, I made 12 grand last month. Like you can't tell me nothing on the internet. That's crazy, right? So somebody that I know, like, oh man, this woman, she was doing like $70,000 like back in 2010 a month, right? And she was telling us like back then, you got to get a product. You're going to need a product. You need to sell something physical. Of course, I'm like, what? We making money? What is she talking about? And, but years later, I had actually probably about 2012, 2013, I had come up with the idea for the flashcard. And I didn't actually move on it to 2017. But I was it's like the entrepreneurial problem. You start a business, to solve a problem, but you also want to solve your financial problem. But then once you start making some money, you get comfortable. And that's where I think I found myself for a few years. I was kind of satisfied. I'm glad I got unstuck, right?
That was like a great pivot. And like, even you said, like, you were throwing out those numbers like, yeah, I was making that much. And it was like, I was making it. But for a lot of people, they're still at that point. Like, we're still trying to make that much. But I completely understand. And I'm glad you pivoted with the product.
Yes.
So going back now to, you had the audience and now you're like, okay, what type of product should I, you had the idea for the cards, but what really pushed you to say, okay, the audience will really love this product and this is the product that's going to like take our brand to the next level? What made those flashcards stand out for you in your mind?
That's interesting because even though I had the idea for the product, I didn't believe in it yet. So I didn't think that it was the right fit for the market. And the whole time, this was, 18 months, 20 months plus months. I'm trying to think about what could I offer? Like, will really work for this particular, but I wasn't thinking history and culture at the time. So when I started to get further and further into our content, and I started noticing that the people were gravitating towards some of our historical articles. So that was kind of like the first sign, like, maybe the flashcards is a good idea. Because going through college, I use flashcards to study. So I just know that it's an effective tool for learning. So once I started seeing a little bit of traction on the historical articles on the site, I started to realize that this might be the right time to do this. So we kind of went for it. We invested a couple of dollars, like $1,500. I put $1,500 into it. And I guess the rest is history, right? Like it went fast after that. It was like, wow, we got something. Like, oh my goodness. So I've still been trying to catch up with the business and put the infrastructure behind it and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at today.
And that's what takes us to our next question. So now you got the winning product. It's taken off. The audience loves it. And now the infrastructure needs to be in place because, like you said, you were just used to doing one thing, collecting a check just for running the ads. And as you could tell, like in 2019, even that space has changed. So now it's kind of like great that you actually have the physical products to sell. So how did you put that in place, build an infrastructure and a team to make sure you were doing all the work and things that you didn't understand, you didn't have to keep doing? So tell us a little bit about that journey and where you are today with your company.
Boy, that's a big question. All right, so I am still in the midst of building out my team and working on that. But I guess getting inside of, our mastermind group and getting around other high-performing entrepreneurs kind of made me, back up and realize okay, I'm in a good space because I don't have a lot of the problems that they talk about. Like, I don't have control issues. Like, I don't want to do everything. In fact, I don't want to do anything. I want to sit in the boardroom. I don't even want to be the CEO of the company. And you had to drag me on here, right? I have no desire to go out and speak. I don't want to talk. I don't want to be affiliated or really known with the company. Yeah, I know y'all are killing me. Like they're
So
trying to drag me out front, right?
my husband is in the background like this.
Yeah, exactly. I just want our work to stand on its own. Like, I think it does a great job doing that. And there's no need for me to, kind of crowd the space. Because I guess I feel like, I know I'm veering from your question, right? But
No, you're good.
I guess I feel like it being in the space I'm in, if I start getting out and talking on stages, like they're going to start asking me about the same questions about that plague the Black community that's been discussed for hundreds of years. And I just feel like if you really get into our organization and absorb the information that we are putting out there, you will learn that it's been said for hundreds of years by, men who have moved the world already. And it's like, you're not listening to them. So why would I get on stage and waste my time, pontificating about the ills of the community or whatever our life is? Like, what am I going to say Marcus Garvey didn't say 100 years ago? What I'm going to say Dr. King didn't say, or Malcolm X didn't say, or Angela Davis didn't say. Like, it's already out there. So I don't know. So that's that. So that's why I like to stay in the background. But as far as building out the team, this has been probably more challenging than getting, making the first $1 million. It's like, that was easy. Like, I ain't gonna say that was easy. Hold on. Let me back up.
Our listeners gonna come to you like, so it was easy. Now we have questions, Freddie. Can you do a course? Can you do something? Now we need you to talk, Freddie.
Yeah, but it's like really figuring out how to crack that first onion or crack that first egg. It was like a really tough part. Now I feel like we're just about to, do this thing back to back. But now I got resources behind me and I can do things like build out a team and hire people. So that's kind of like where I'm at. We just this week hired someone that took a lot off of our plate. And I just sent the offer letter to another young lady that's going to take over like our content management. So now it's really just building out the structure. I know what the corporate hierarchy looks like. I know what positions need to be filled. So now it's just a matter of, hiring those 6 or 7 people, which that we're in the midst of it. We're about 4 deep right now. So I got about 3 more people to bring on. And I think we will really start to roll. Yeah, then I can really get into the things that I really want to get into, with just directing the organization and making sure the symphony, goes on as planned.
And that's going into my next question. So that's what I'm hearing is like, you just want to be the creative director. You just want to put out the content in terms of what you already have the ideas and you just want to put them out. You just need somebody to execute them. And that that's your weakness and you're going to figure it out. So that's something I see entrepreneurs we don't do. We just figure like, okay, we're going to do everything and we're going to, it's like, once you get those things, like, I can't do this, let somebody else do it. It saves you time and money in the long run.
Yes.
And the great thing about what you're saying, what I'm hearing as well is, even though you don't want to be necessarily the face of your company, you're still able to put out the things that you really want to say. So what I'm hearing is, you know what? I don't necessarily want to be in the face of the company saying it. If you want to hear my thoughts, get the flashcard.
Yes, it's all in the product. Because some people are asking, how do we select who's going to be in each volume? And the truth of the matter is, it's just my call. And it's really the people that I feel like are more impactful to the community, that are more inspiring, more uplifting, more model worthy, or important events. But it's really it's skewed from my lens. So rather than talk to you or tell you, I can show you, through the products.
So true. And I love that. And one of our guests, our past guest that's actually on our podcast episode a few weeks back, is Gwen Jameer. And she is actually one of the featured person in your card. And I love that you chose someone in today, someone current that we could really look up to and say, listen, someone in 2019 is killing it. Let's look at what his sister is doing. So I love that you were able to highlight her. So can you share, like you just said, how you selected someone like that to really put in the card so people can acknowledge that there are people doing things in present time right now, like that's making history. Like, why was she someone that you really stood out to you in the community today?
I think you nailed it, and I call it modern history, because when you're talking to young people and even adults today, if you start, you go to 5,000 BC, people eyes cross and they just like, I can't relate to that. So, we wanted to make sure, we definitely wanted to go there because it's an important part of our history, but I definitely wanted, particularly the younger people, to know, like, history is made every day. Yesterday, a couple of hours ago is history, like literally. So as long as someone is doing something, incredible and high achieving and, Black excellence in that realm, then they're a potential target to be included in our cards. But Quinn was a special ad because she's in the TSP community and I know her personally. So it just feels really good to be the owner and to be able to decide, you know what, I'm going to put a friend in. It just happens, dude. It's just not like a random friend. She happens to be very dope, and has done some amazing things with her business. But she's a wonderful woman. And then there's another woman in there, Tamara Holmes, that I know. I went to college with her. Oh, but wow. She's in that same deck. It was important that they were in there, one, because again, they're amazing, but two, they're the youngest two people in that deck. And it's just easier for young people to see individuals closer to their age that are doing amazing things. So, that lends to doing a kid deck. I'm just working on the copyrights and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And going into some of the major achievements that you guys have accomplished in just a short period of time, because it really is a short period of time that you guys have really been killing it. So let's talk about one of the features that you guys were actually featured for this month, Black History Month. You guys were able to display your cards where?
Oh, yeah.
Because
I forgot about that, right?
Everybody got their products in this place.
Yeah. So we're at JFK Airport in New York, and we're with JetBlue. It's a sponsorship with JetBlue. So they have a Black History Museum inside of LaGuardia, JFK, and their headquarters there in New York. So that was pretty big. That came about by just answering the inboxes that you get to your pages. So one of their employees reached out to us via the inbox, and I'm typically in the inbox, manning the inbox and, going and interacting with the people. I'm not always on frontline customer service. I just happen to hold down the Facebook inbox, right? You get a lot of crazy stuff in there sometimes, but this brother was seem real, honest and earnest about working with us. So I reached out to him, and, he turns out he was a JetBlue employee and he was trying to start a new initiative there for Black History Month. And we started going back and forth, and, now we got the beautiful display and picture opportunities and social proof and, exposure to a large audience that we couldn't get to ourselves. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I forgot I mentioned that. Right?
Right. You just forgot to mention that.
I forgot all about it.
That's incredible. That's incredible because why I especially love that is it's an opportunity, like you said, that started based on this person, because obviously he was engaged with your community to see how impactful it was. And then he was in the process of creating an initiative for such a major company and decided you know what, your brand fits into it. And again, this was none of your plan. This was probably the furthest thing from your mind. But because you followed through and making, adding the cards, and look how this picture is growing even bigger, right? So let's talk about some of the other bigger stuff that you have planned for the brand and how you're really going to, expand and take it to the next level. I know for a homeschooling parent like myself and others, we've really been pushing you hey, we need some products for the kids. So what do you guys have planned? We celebrate Black History Month. We're happy to have this entire month's podcast episodes be sponsored by Naturalicious, who's the world's first time-saving natural hair care line for busy women that delivers the results of 12 products in only 3 steps. A 3-step, all-natural, highly effective hair care system that delivers moisturize, detangle, and define curls in a fraction of the time. Available today at over 1,200 Sally stores nationwide and sold online at SaveTimeOnWashDay.com. Made for women with natural hair by women with natural hair. In fact, the founder, Gwen Jamer, is the first African-American woman to hold a patent on a natural hair care product and to save up to 80% of time on wash day. I've personally used Naturalicious products for my daughter, and we both love the results it's given her hair. It's available today at over 1,200 Sally stores nationwide and sold online at SaveTimeOnWashDay.com. So if you're looking for a product that reduces the time you spend on your hair care, this is the product for you. So be sure to head on over to SaveTimeOnWashDay.com or your local Sally Beauty store.
Well, we have a few more decks of the flashcards coming, so that's one thing that we want to do. But we want to break into the Afro-Latin market, so that's something that we're working on with an Afro-Latin deck. It seems to be like our forgotten brothers and sisters, but we want to, again, like the movement is about tying the world, the universal Black community together, Pan-Africanism, right? Like bringing us all back together. So as long as we're learning about one another and our strife, our struggle, our success, and our achievements, I can kind of see that as tying the bond, getting us back together globally. So we want to move into international direction. But as far as like products, if I don't get an e-product soon, Lamar is going to like jump down my throat. So, we got some ebooks coming. We're working on a curriculum, so a full out curriculum. I have a teacher that's writing that for us. Then I'm looking at a partnership with another brother who has like a homeschool curriculum. So that might be a way to collapse the time frame of getting that done. I'm all about collapsing time frames. If you tell me you want to do something in 12 months, I'm going to be like, we could probably get that done in 4, if you just hustle a little bit. So that books, we got some books planned. I have a historical fiction that I've been waiting to get out. This is a really cool story that I have based on my parents. I almost told my story. I don't want to tell you. I almost gave it away, right?
I will do it. I'm a good interviewer, right?
Yeah.
You're like, wait, no, we're not supposed to tell that.
Yeah, I don't want to give that away. But yeah, so you want to get into.
Sounds excited.
Yeah, courses. We're stacking up the mobile app to be more interactive. We got our own social network that we're building out. I'm happy with it. Thus far, I had a bunch of hurdles to get over to get it this far, but now it's like you can relate to this. You don't know the problems ahead until you walk through the door. So you're sitting on the other side of the door and you're like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. But then you get through the door, you're like, oh, it's not as bad. And then you get down the hallway a little bit, you're like, oh, I didn't even see those problems coming. So now that we got the app up, I know I don't like the algorithm at all. So now it's like, okay, we got to get into algorithmic writing and all that good stuff. So a bunch of fun, but we're looking to add more and more to our offer.
I love it. And we're going to definitely touch on your app. But before that, what would you say was the most expensive business investment you have made for your brand that's really paid off? And the most expensive business investment that you've made that didn't really pay off so much?
Whoa. Okay.
That one is because you threw around like, yeah, we made that $1 million. That was easy. So we want to know.
Yeah. Wow. Well, first I'll say you make $1 million, you don't keep $1 million, right?
Yes.
That's $1 million top line sales. Right? What actually comes home is something down here, right? But let's see. My biggest expense has been the mastermind. Well, I'll take that back. Facebook ads. That's our biggest expense. I know we spent like $700,000 last year in Facebook ads. That was a pretty big expense, right? And I would say that's the biggest one that didn't pay off, right?
Did you see
it paid off. Huh?
Did you see my face? I had a mini heart attack with those numbers.
I had a mini heart attack. Yeah. I had a mini heart attack when we looked at the final numbers, you just be in the middle of the madness and the money goes fast, right? So I would say that's the biggest expense that didn't pay off because last year, here's a good tip for you, a good warning. We spent into, 2018, running into 2018, we were on fire, right? So we were just blowing money, really. We weren't blowing money. We was making way more, if you spend $1 to make $3, how much money you gonna spend, right? So we were spending. So March came and sales plummeted, right? And we were like, what's going on? And we turned up the ad spend, and we'll just spin through this. I don't know what it is. Just throw more money at it, right? And then after a few months, it's like, whoa, what is happening here? Why is it the needle moving? Money's flying out. Let's slow down. So I ended up spending into the political storm, right? So the politics and midterm elections, all that money flooded the Facebook market and it drove up the ad costs. And before we didn't realize it until well into the year. And it was like, you know what? I think it's these political ads. And sure enough, when September 6th happened, September 7th, cost per sale went down and then sales went right back up. So it was a 6-month period where we were just blowing a lot of money and just didn't really realize why it wasn't working. And we just tried to spin through it rather than stepping back and figuring it out. So that would be my biggest expense that didn't work out very well. Even though we made more money than we spent, so it's not, you shouldn't feel bad for me. We did not land in the red, well into the black, but
that still was a scary number.
yeah. That was a lot of money that went out,
While folks are trying to spend $7 a day, you said $700.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not like I had $700,000 sitting over here like we're going to spend this on ads this. It's like we started with $10 and then we spent $10, made $30. And it was like, okay, spend $20. Spend $20, made $50. This was in profit, so if I make $50, then I take $30 and spend that again. I take $20 and shove it in my pocket. And then that $30 go out and then I make $100. It's like, okay, so that's how we ramped up. Like a lot of people, they hear about advertising, they're like, wow, like your ad budget is crazy. Like, dude, if you spend $1 and you make $3, you're going to spend more money. Like it's I call it house money. As long as we playing with house money, it's all fun and game. That's why I can laugh about the $700,000. Otherwise I might be over here crying, But
I would cry for you.
Yeah. But the best investment I made was getting into mastermind. So that was like, I've never been in a mastermind before. I never had a mentor before. I've always been so arrogant. I always thought that I knew everything. And like I had been following his brother Lamar for a few. Yeah, me, arrogant? Wow, bro. That's crazy, right? Yeah, I just, I know a lot. I read a lot. I study a lot, and I work hard. And I've been an entrepreneur. I've had 2 jobs in my life. One was in high school, one was in college. So it's like, I'm like, and I've made decent money. I've never made anything like this. But anyway, I have been following the brother, and I was like, man, that brother really know what he's talking about. I'm going to go get down with him. So that's kind of how I got in. I was like, and it's paid off with my network building. If nothing else, like that has just been incredible. So I wouldn't even be here with you today.
Network is everything.
I would have my products on Amazon. We wouldn't be getting all that free money.
You know what? Free plug. That was a free ad.
That was a free ad. Yeah. The Amazon, Tara, the Amazon lady, right?
No, but you're so right. Like we talk about like your network being your network of people that you need. And I think people really, even in 2019, they don't understand that because it's like people want to just network with you or know you just to take versus how can I give to you? And it doesn't have to necessarily be, even if you can't give that person something, like you can figure out what that person needs that you can even recommend to them or whatever it is. But nowadays people just want. And I think like it's so crucial that you said that, like just having a group of people around you that motivates you. And I know for you, like seeing you on my timeline, I'm just like, I thought I was like the person who always execute and just whatever comes to my mind, I put out there. I thought it was a really flawed thing because my husband be like, no, can you just write it down? We're going to figure this out. And I'm like, no, but we got to launch this tomorrow. But seeing people like you, I'm like, I'm normal. Like this is normal. I just got to figure out how to balance it, but this is normal.
You're normal. Either that or we're just abnormal together. Like I don't,
Listen, we good.
It's working. So let's just keep it.
Let's just keep it. But it's so cool though, like seeing people like that have the same drive as you, the same hustle as you, or even more, and challenges you and even like checks you. Like when you're when you're off, no, we've checked each other. Like,
I was going to throw some shade and say that's your specialty. But
that's not my specialty, but I do it in love. But let's talk about like some of the resources that you've used to really like pivot your business. I know you mentioned like, being around certain people, mastermind, but what are some of the tools maybe that you've used that have just made your, business run streamline and you don't really need to, some things we don't necessarily have to hire out for if we have certain processes in place. So can you give us some of the tools that you're using right now that has completely just changed how you do business?
That's interesting. I'm going to say first is audible.com because I'm all about information and learning. My goal is always 50 books a year and I count the Audible books. Some people don't count them. I used to not count them. I used to hate it. I'm a reading purist. If you're not flipping the pages, it doesn't count, but that was about 14, 15, and I gave it up. I went over and I'm like, I still read physical books, I still have them, but I'm just able to stuff a whole lot more in my head a lot faster with Audible. So I believe in audio learning. I just get the information. I mean, you can brag to your friends about other things. Like get the information in your head so that you can put it into your business. So once I had to get past my ego hurdle of I read books, that's what I do. I think that that's a very good tool to use. Maybe that's not what you thought I was going to say, but that's number one for me.
No, that's good. I need to.
And then, yeah, go for it, man. I'm telling you, I mean, it's awesome. I've learned some great lessons via Audible. Let's see. I love WordPress platform and WooCommerce as opposed to Shopify. I don't like mastermind. Everybody's like Shopify now. But in my business, I despise reoccurring payments. So at any end that we can eliminate a reoccurring payment, we're going to take that option. And now it just so happens that we come from a web design background. So like handling all of that on, that's like a in-house skill that we have. I used to own a web design company before this. I still actually own my web design company. I just don't take on more clients. I don't even do the web design. Actually, my number two does it. He's better than me. So like, why would I be involved? So let's see, that's a big one for me. Then, of course, Infusionsoft with the automated tools and email marketing, all of that stuff, and, retargeting, all of that is just priceless for our ad spend and, our customer life cycle, our network, our nurturing plans, all of that is like critical. I guess those are like the big three things I would say would be Audible, Infusionsoft, and I would say WordPress and WooCommerce. Those are like the huge things.
I love it. I'm probably going to check. I actually have a ton of books in my Audible. I just have not purchased them and downloaded them. But I know I have a lot of physical books, but then I buy them and then I just sit them there. And then it's like, when are we going to read these? Right. I guess the Audible would be more convenient for our lifestyle. So I'm definitely.
I'll give you a reading tip. When I was on my reading kick, I would tell people it's easy to read 24 books a year. And all you have to do is commit to reading 25 pages a day. 25 pages a day, 5 days a week. It's 125 pages a week, which is 500 pages a month. That's roughly 2 books. That's 24 books a year if you just commit to 25 pages a day. And people say, when am I going to get 25 pages a day? When you wake up 15, 30 minutes earlier and you read, and I'm a slow reader. So like I would have to read 10 pages. And then like I'll catch 5 here. And then at the end of the night, that's how I'll get to 25. Like I'll accumulate it. But as long as you build that habit, that intention, then you read and you just take them down.
That sounds great. I'm definitely going to try that. And I'm going to let you know how that's working out. So now
I'm going to hold you to it.
You got me reading and your wife got me with my water. She got me water intake.
Yeah, she is so serious about that one. But it's important. It's important, yeah. Especially for the late nights we put in, right?
But see, that's when you have accountable people around you that really love you, right?
Right.
So we got to appreciate those things. We have to appreciate. Now we're going to go into our fun round, which is our fun question round. So loosen up. And I was going to do something tricky. I was going to go to your Facebook page and I was going to get all the questions that you be asking people.
Oh, don't do that.
But I was like, those questions are not even podcastable.
No, you don't want none of that.
But I was like, that would be so fun.
Yeah. But especially I ask all those questions. I never answer them either. Like that's what's funny.
Exactly. So these are going to be fun questions. So you have 5 seconds to answer. Don't think about it too hard. We want these to be fun and natural. So first question, your favorite entrepreneur, 5 seconds.
Gary V.
Really?
That's the
latest business one.
The JetBlue promotion up in LaGuardia. Yeah.
I guess I asked you this one already. Your favorite business tool? I guess the 3. You can go back to the 3.
Yeah, the 3, really. Yeah. But I love all.
The last book you read?
Completed?
Yep.
The Go-Getter.
What was your favorite book that you've read of all time?
Oh my God, Good to Great.
Good to Great.
Oh, I love that book. There's so many I left out.
What did you want to be when you grow up?
The entrepreneur.
And what was the last good deed that was done for you?
I'm pretty sure the wife did something.
It's so funny. All the married couple always get stuck at that one. Like, let me say my spouse.
Yeah. It had to be something she did. Yeah.
And what's the best advice for our listeners to be successful entrepreneurs? The best advice you could give to anyone listening today?
Man, stuff your head with information and knowledge, but don't be afraid to act on it. And I'll give you the best quote I know for this is go before you're ready. So just study, but go before you're ready. By the time you wait to get ready, you probably missed the opportunity. Just go for it.
I love that. Go before you're ready, guys. So dream big, execute hard, and go before you're ready, because in 2019, no coins left behind.
I love it. None.
This was so much fun, Freddie. Thank you for taking the time out, for being on. I really appreciate it. We've learned a lot, had tons of fun. But how can anyone listening that wants to see your product, follow you, how can they purchase your flashcards and support you in everything that you're doing today?
Oh, dope. Okay. Well, I appreciate you having me on, but anybody that's interested can always find us at urbanintellectuals.com. We're at Urban Intellectuals all around the web. You can download our mobile app on Android or iOS by searching for Urban Intellectuals. It's free. And we got a social media site, actually, called Society. So society.urbanintellectuals.com. But you can get there just by going to urbanintellectuals.com.
And we'll put all those in the link. And I'm so sad that we didn't get a chance to mention the social media. But real quick, because that is super important, that's super dope. So can you tell us in real quick, like what it's about? How can we be a part of that to build that? Because everyone, we need another option than Facebook. If there's one out there, our people should know. So can you just share a little bit about that real quick?
Yeah. And well, it really just came about with the frustration of Facebook because, every time you see a Black-owned site or somebody that's talking about our uplift and our empowerment, they either losing their site, they're getting banned, they're getting suspended. I've been thrown in Facebook jail many times for just saying basic things about the Black community uniting. So just grew out of that frustration that we need our own platform. That's one of my business mottos. Like, you got to play on the fields that you own, because otherwise, when the owners decide to change the game, you're going to lose. I've seen that time and time again in the business. So we just started our own. Like I said, we're internet nerds anyway. So we built out our own platform, and we are making it a great place for Black entrepreneurs and really anyone that want to come and network with us, talk about our issues and solve our problems without a 1% organic reach rate like some other platforms.
Let's do it.
I could help.
I love it. I love it. So I'm definitely going to download that. You said it's available for Android because I'm not iPhone.
We're not hating on Android. So yes, we're on Android and iOS. So we're in the Play Store and the App Store. We're not hating.
Android is the best. So we're not even going to have that discussion right now. But guys, go download the app.
Team iPhone like the Beehive. I don't want that.
Go download the app, support. I'm going to put all Freddie's contact information in the show notes so you guys can definitely go and download them. This was so much fun. Guys, if you haven't gotten the cards, please go support. It's definitely a game changer. You need just one in your house just to have. If your friends come over, give them one. Give it as a gift. You definitely need one. And I love that you're expanding to have other cards and other products. And I'm super excited to see everything that you guys will roll out this year, because I know it's going to be dope. So congrats prior to everything. And thank you again for taking the time to come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dreams inspire.